Emanating from the Londonderry Bowling Center in Londonderry, New Hampshire, it's Big Shot Bowling. Big Shot Bowling is brought to you in part by Duddy 4. From economy to luxury, you'll find it at Duddy 4. By Diamond Chevrolet, where you always get a diamond of a deal. And by Durette, custom concepts in cast lucite. Big Shot Bowling is brought to you in conjunction with the World Candlepin Bowlers Congress. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Fouracre, along with Dan the Man Murphy. And as always, here on Big Shot Bowling, we'll be sharing two excellent candlepin bowlers. Toni-Marie Baldinelli will be back to defend her title, and she'll be taking on Sharon Rawson. Stan, this should be a good one.
Well, it should. Sharon's won an individual pro tour herself. She carries 117 average, so the credentials are there. You got to fight the legacy of the Baldinelli family, though. It's just sometimes tough to overcome, and Toni bowled great last week, the second and third game, so you can never count her out. She's down, I think, by 32 at one time. She came back to win the match, so yeah, you got to beat her. She's not going to beat herself.
So hold on. We're looking for another good one here on Big Shot Bowling. We'll be back with string number one, but before we do, let's pause for these messages.
The millions in the rain, it sends a moon from expectations of being who you really want to be. Skating away, skating away, skating away.
Bob Fouracre with Dan Murphy on Big Shot Bowling. Sharon Rawson to lead it off. Sharon bringing down 7 on the first ball. She's from Greenfield, Massachusetts, with an average of a 117. This is the first time for Sharon on the ladies format here on Big Shot Bowling. She was with us on the mixed doubles back in 1986 when she teamed with Rich Pedroli. And they went all the way to the finals before they lost to Carol Downey and Tom Surratt in the championship match.
Seven and 9. A couple pieces of wood out. Looks like if she stays to the right of the red line on the front piece, she's got a good shot at making it. Yes, shot.
Sharon with a spare in the second box.
Lets the ball carry him off the front piece of wood, just below the red line. Nice shot by Sharon.
Toni-Marie. Toni dropping 8 on the first ball. Last week she had a fine win over Debbie Regan, 357 to a 329.
Oh, yes. Incredible shot.
Superlative.
Nudges the wood over into the 7. Great shot.
And the week before, Toni defeated Joanne Rosano, a 378 to a 321. And over the 2 years we've had the ladies format, Toni now has picked up 5 championships here on Big Shot Bowling, tying the record with Debbie Scannell, who also has recorded 5. A spare fill for Sharon, and she drops down 7. The winner of this show will be receiving $200, and the runner-up $100. Both ladies will be walking out of here with trophies, compliments of George Girton Trophy Center, located on Southbridge Street in Worcester, Massachusetts. And if a gal gets a triple during the match, she'll win herself a trip for 2 to Atlantic City. Compliments of Fresh Pond Travel in Natick, Massachusetts.
Sharon just missing that head pin.
Ten count for Sharon Rawson. Toni up by a couple, but opposite an 8 and then a 10. Around the bunny hole. Toni hoping to climb out of this one with a respectable count. No.
It doesn't happen.
5 count for Toni.
And drops the lead by 1.
32 after 3 for Toni-Marie Baldinelli. Good ball, but she got a couple standing, the 7 and the 10 with some lumber. It can happen.
Middle piece of wood, have the ball carry 'em off for the 7, have the wood take the 10.
She tried it the other way, missed it.
I didn't think because of the third piece of wood there, the one in the center would stop the 2 from coming across.
10 count for Toni-Marie. Sharon Rawson leading by 1, 43-42.
And she has a shot at the 7-10.
Sharon with an average of a 117, her best high single a 184, and her best triple a 420. Been bowling on the tour for 5 years, and as Dan pointed out, she has picked up 1 win. Score that a 9 for Sharon. 52, the midway point. All the action emanating from the Londonderry Bowling Center in Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Oh, just remove the head pin, nothing else. And a 6. 58 after 6. Slow start for both bowlers.
Both with 1 spare, both being a spare 7. Toni getting hers in the first and Sharon in the second. Toni dropping 8, hoping to spare. Looks good. It is good. Toni with her second spare. Hoping for a big fill.
Make it 7. 1, 4, 7 left. So he's going to go after the head pin and have either the head pin or the ball go down and clear out the 4 and 7. That gives her the lead by 7 as well.
Ooh.
Just missed the head pin.
Looked good for a moment. And a 10 count for the champ, Toni-Marie, leading it by 11, 69-58. Drop of 9 for Sharon. Looks like it could be tough wood down there.
Stance up high, try to turn it. Anything red line or near the red line is not going to make it. Well, it came off the wall.
That's
nice
it.
Shot.
We can see that again. Watch how she got some luck off the wall.
Oh, there you go.
There's more than one way to make it.
Hey, strike on spare. Made it a count. Make it an account too. Make it a count. Real nice. Gives her 78 after 7 with a strike up in the 8th.
Here's Toni-Marie blasting down 7, maybe 8, maybe 9. Yeah, stick around. Oh, look at that. Going after the wood, and she got it. 3 spares now for Toni-Marie Baldinelli. Oh, my. Didn't like that one. 3 on the mark.
Right through the middle, 1, 5, and 9. So Sharon will get the lead back. Anything over a 1 fill. Working on a strike.
Brings down 3 on the first ball. Eight down, 2 to go with 1 ball remaining. 8 on the strike. And a 9 count. 105 with 1 left for Sharon Rawson. Sharon with an average of 117. Well, she gets the diamond lead. 2, 4, 5, and 8.
Yes. Nice shot.
Oh, right on the butt, baby.
115 with 1 to come.
That is not an easy one. Three spares and a strike for Sharon Rawson. And let's see. 4 on the spare. And a total of a 119. Tony on the left side of the head pin, the 1-2 pocket, bringing down 7.
It's going to be made. Going to try to cut the 5 on the right-hand side into the 8 and then possibly the 7, but again to the left of the head pin. That's what you want to do.
Super shot.
That's what you want to put the second ball.
Superlative. Dynamite.
Here you see the replay. Watch the 5 pin cut into the 7.
Drop of 9.
Got a real break when the 8 pin went down. Otherwise, she's looking at the 2 and the 8, which is a difficult shot to make unless you have 10 in front of you.
That's what I was going to say, unless the other 8 is standing.
There's the mark, and then I'm going to keep her close.
4 spares for the champ.
In fact, if she throws a strike, we'll be knotted up. Anything less than a strike, she'll be behind.
A 119 for Sharon Rawson in her first string.
That was a lob.
So it's going to go as a goose egg on the spare, and it's going to end up a 109 and a 10-pin advantage after 1 for the challenger Sharon Rawson over the champ Toni-Marie Baldinelli. String 2 will be rolling your way, but first we're going to pause for these words.
I don't know what kids today is. They got a tube, but they don't appreciate it either. Last Christmas, my kid wanted a BB gun. I gave him a BB gun. He gave me a sweatshirt with a bullseye on the back. What a smart kid I got. The other day, I told him about the birds and the bees. He told me about my wife and a butcher.
Okay, the WCBC, in conjunction with Six Gun Productions, are strongly behind the Center for Children with Special Needs. This is a center that's located in the Floating Hospital, New England Medical Center in Washington Street, Boston. And it's a neurological and developmental handicaps. The children with these handicaps are able to get therapy and evaluation and lots of those good things that are needed in cases like this. And we, as the WCBC Pro Tour and Six Gun Productions, are behind this worthy cause 100%. We hope you will be too.
And for those kind words. Now to get the action going, here is Toni-Marie Baldinelli as we lift off the second game. Toni-Marie down by 10. In the first, it was Sharon Rawson with a 119 and Toni-Marie with a 109. And a full house of a 10 for Toni-Marie. Dan, at this time, I'd like to congratulate the WCBC and Six Gun Productions for being behind the Center for Children with Special Needs. And for those of you that would love to send a contribution, well, that would be just downright great. We'd love to have it.
Oh!
How about that one? A spare is a spare is a spare.
She threw her hands up like, oh no. Just was able to nudge the ball off the wood to carry the 2 pins. I don't think she was planning on it that way.
I'd also like to thank Ann Liggums for being behind the Center for Children with Special Needs. Her and her committee, they have done a tremendous job. Here's Sharon Rawson, leading it by 10. Now she leads it by 8, and she's opposite a spare. The lady from Greenfield, Massachusetts. In the first game, as I said, Sharon had a 119. En route to that 119, she recorded 3 spares and a strike. That's an 8 for Sharon. 16 after a couple. Tony with a fill on a spare. Fills it with 7. Toni-Marie looking for her 3rd straight victory and her 6th overall on big shot bowling. Oh, nice one.
Covers a 2-4-5.
Starting to heat up.
Played perfectly, as you can see. Looking for a good fill now. And can't get
Yes.
better than that.
No, sir. Her first strike of the match. Toni-Marie Baldinelli blows out all the candles for the strike. Sharon Rawson dropping down a half dozen. And got a tough one here. 2 and the 4, the 6 and the 10.
Oh,
wow, what a shot!
Oh, my.
Superlative, superlative, superlative.
Take a look at this. Split the 2-4, Sharon. That's the way to do it. There goes the 6-10.
What a great spare. And she fills it with a 9.
Everything but the 10.
For those of you watching candlepin bowling around the country or in Canada for the first time, believe me, it's not an easy sport.
She certainly made it look easy just
Oh,
then.
did
but
she ever?
Toni-Marie working on a strike. Double? No.
Oh. Now remember, if a gal gets a triple, she'll win herself a trip or 2 to Atlantic City. Compliments of Fresh Pond Travel, and they're located in Natick, Massachusetts.
However, if that triple comes at the end of the show,
A brand spanking new Thunderbird compliments of Duddy Ford, Route 9 in Westboro, and 6 Gun Productions.
it's 4 in a row for Tony. Make it 9 to Phil, and it's
Wow.
86.
She is on fire. Gonna blast it for another one. Yep. See, 1 strike and 8 spares in the match.
Sharon's just got to try to weather the storm, keep getting the fills and marks herself, and stay close.
Oh, yes, right there. And it looks like Mrs. Riley's duck soup.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yes, right there. Easy.
6-10.
It's like I called it. You were nervous.
I was.
Why?
was.
Explain to the viewers
Well,
why.
because that would, if she was any farther to the left, she might have left a 10 pin. It wasn't really
Oh,
duck soup.
Dan, you're
Mrs.
gonna
Riley's or anybody else's.
Dan, you're going to have to use my glasses on the next show.
Whoa, she's going to have a break here.
Yeah, another Mrs.
Another one?
Riley. Mrs. Murphy's beef stew or something. I don't know.
Everything but the 7 pin.
Dan, you're losing it. You really, I can't believe it.
Covers it.
Covers it.
4 in a row. Let's break.
Hey, we're going to break and we're going to have some Mrs. Riley's duck soup. We'll be back with more, but first, we're going to call in some of our friendly sponsors.
I got a dog, too. He drives me nuts. His favorite bone is in my arm. What a dog. Well, last night, 4 times he went in the paper. 3 times I was reading it. I got a dumb dog. Every time he sees me, he has a love affair with my leg. And I'm getting to like it, too, I'll tell you that. Oh, the other night...
Toni-Marie Baldinelli.
Working on 5 marks in a row. Well, full hit that time.
Shot at her 6th.
Leaves herself to 3-6-10. 103 after 6. Gotta hurry.
Nope.
Didn't come back. So, a little reprieve for Sharon Rawson, who has 4 marks of her own in a row.
$10 for Toni-Marie Baldinelli. At this time, I'd like to thank Mr. Tux for supplying me with my wardrobe today. They're located at 424 Belmont Street in Worcester, Massachusetts. If you're looking for formal wear, you can visit Mr. Tux at 424 Belmont Street in Worcester. And Gary Levine and staff would love to help you suit up for that special occasion.
7-10. Well, the front piece of wood, I think she's going to try to cap it on the left-hand cap, have the ball go down and take the 7.
That's exactly
Gotta
what
hurry.
she's doing.
Nope, not quite.
Another 1/8 of an inch off to the left she might have had it. Maybe a 16th.
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
more of a 32nd, but that's
Whatever.
all right. 122 with 2 to go. Sharon Rawson's got 4 in a row. Carried a 10-pin lead coming into this game. Right back on the head pin.
Oh, nice. Nice one.
7.
And it's down there. All she has to do is convert. Simple as that.
Well, not as easy as it looks. 3, 5, and 10. Got to be on the 3-pin. Hopefully she can turn the wood a little bit to get the 10-pin. Nice shot. Nice shot. 5 in a row for Sharon. All spares. The replay. Watch the wood turn just enough to nudge the 10-pin.
8
99.
spares and a strike now for Sharon.
Right back. Oh, out of them. 6 in a row. Wow. These girls are on fire.
You're watching the
Look at
best
this.
of the world of candlepin bowling.
Incredible.
Toni-Marie.
1-3 left. Not a bad break for missing the head pin.
The record for the high single is a 150, held by Debbie Scannell. No. .132.
The words right out of my mouth, Bob.
If she strikes out, we're close to it. She can set the record for the high single.
Oh. I don't know what you're getting at. Wants the 7-pin to go. 6-9 into 7's the problem. All I can see is hit the wood and hopefully maybe the ball will come back or a piece of wood come off the right sidewall.
Toni-Marie trailing the match by 6.
That gives her 141. Make it 142, and she may lose the game. Sharon is at 119 with 2 to go.
Working on the strike, looking for the double. 251 after 2 for Toni-Marie.
Double? Oh, good enough.
Looked it for a moment, Dan.
Certainly did. 5, 6, 10. Play the wood in front of the 6-10 and hopefully get it to snap over and get the 5. Oh, right behind it.
Great try by
It was.
Sharon. Sharon Rawson of Greenfield, Massachusetts, against Toni-Marie Baldinelli from Amesbury, Massachusetts.
So 137 with 1 to go. Anything over 5, she can increase the 10-pin lead she had after the first game.
Drop of 7.
Well, they don't always listen to me, but I would play the 4-pin and the wood and snap it off the left sidewall.
Oh, I wasn't. I'm sorry.
No?
Oh.
She listened.
Yeah.
Didn't quite hit it what I expected her to, but now she'll grab the 6 and 10. For 146, hopefully. That's what it's going to be.
Yes, sir. Oh, great bowling by these two ladies in the second game. A 146 for Sharon Rawson and a 142 for Toni-Marie Baldinelli. And after a couple, Sharon Rawson in the driver's seat by 14. 265 to a 251.
What do you say we bust up this joint, huh? All right, next week after the fire. Now, when I started in shows, I worked only tough places like Fonzo's Knuckle Room, Aldo's, formerly Vito's, formerly Nunzio's. Ooh, there was a tough one. Nunzio's tough. I sat down to eat, and the menu that had broken leg of lamb. And Nunzio, he was tough. And then he said to me, "Kid, you want to go hunting?" I said, "Okay, I'm game," and he shot me.
Back we come. Sharon Rawson leading it by 14 as we go into the final string. And what a last string we had, Dan Murphy, between these two fine candlepin bowlers. Sharon with a 146 and Toni-Marie with a 142.
That was incredible. Both girls on their game, to say the least. But it's not over yet. 14-pin lead is not very much. Nice 10. Oh, we got a
if we
clinic.
got that one, baby, I want to see it
We got a
again.
clinic going on out here.
Watch
Snap
this.
the wood in front of that 10-pin. Get that 10-pin off the wall for the 8.
Look
Nice
at that.
shot, Sharon.
What an outstanding 10. Now, here's a tough one, but it can be had. It will have to be a trick shot, though.
A
And
trick shot?
Try this trick
No,
shot.
you just got to hit the head pin.
And then pray.
Piece of cake. I was going to say Mrs. Riley's duck soup, but I know better than say that.
Oh, my. And a 9.
Well, 2 openings for Toni-Marie to work on a 14-pin deficit. She's lost 2 battles of the war, but she hasn't lost the war yet.
No. 4 horsemen standing down there, staring back at Toni-Marie, a 1, 2, 4, and 7. Looks good. Oh. Thought for a moment, from this angle, it looked good, Dan. Really. You know, you missed a couple, too, tonight.
Well, okay.
Now, that one did look good.
That was about as close as the second ball.
Oh, Dan, no.
15 pins now, opposite a 9 frame. That looks pretty good.
Right. Yeah, all right.
2, 4, 7 on the left with a 6-pin. Going to try to split the 2 and the 4. Wake Dottie up over there.
Yeah, our statistician, Dottie Lorick. Dottie. That's what the guys at the pool room call her. Could we get a shot of Naughty Dottie, please? Oh, after this shot, maybe we can. Here it comes, the shot of Naughty Dottie. Wave, Dottie. She looks shy, but she isn't. We love her. Stop kicking me under the table, Dottie. Back to the bowling. We got a good one brewing.
10. Looking for our first mark of this third game.
10, 9, and 10 for Sharon. Sharon came into the string leading it by 14. A 265 to a 251.
Watch out.
Look out, backdoor action? No.
1, 2 left. Very important to get that first mark up, especially when you get that lead. Give your opponent something to think about. Remember Toni-Marie last week opened with a 91, was it?
Yep.
32 pins down. So
there's a spare.
Keep that pressure on.
Unofficially, I have Sharon with a couple of strikes and 9 spares. Here's Toni-Marie. Oh,
Ouch.
my.
1, 8, and 9.
That's all she wrote. Tony Zernicke, our official for this show. Bert Perangeli keeping the score that you see in your screen.
Nice out by Toni-Marie.
And Dottie Lorick, our statistician, filling in for Cheryl Young this week for the second week in a row. Toni-Marie hoping to get a mark.
Well, going to break with a 5-1 down. Leaves yourself the triangle of a 4, 7, 8 in the left-hand corner. Trying to match the mark up in the fourth by Sharon Rawson.
No.
Not going to happen. So she's going to fall a few more pins behind with 6 frames remaining.
Trailing by 17. And she'll go down a few more after this ball.
Light hit for Sharon. Got a drop of 5.
Picket fence leave with some lumber.
I don't know. Guess we try to cap the wood on the left-hand tip of it. See what happens. Yeah, she's going to elect to go for the triangle, but
The winner of this show will be presented the opportunity to win themselves a brand spanking new Thunderbird, compliments of Duddy Ford, Route 9 in Westboro. Dan, this is the final week for someone to try to win this automobile.
that's right. Either we get a double strike and more, or also the television goes to Paul Berger, too.
Paul is in the driver's seat.
And Sharon Rawson's in the driver's seat of this match right now.
Yes,
Another
sir.
mark up in the 6th. Leading by 14 coming in. Blossom that out to the 23-pin lead now. Toni-Marie still looking for a first mark of the 3rd game.
And if we don't give away the automobile, we certainly will give away a television set from Vin's TV and Appliance. And they're located at 268 Boston Turnpike, Route 9 in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. We can post that address after we show the scoreboard on Vin's TV and Appliance of Shrewsbury. We'd appreciate it.
Vinny would, too.
There it is. Vinny's going to be happy now. Vinny wanted me to let all the bowling fans know if they're looking for any appliances or TVs, come on down. Sometime after 11 o'clock on Saturday night. Probably get through the back door, just pry it open. He has RCAs, Zeniths, Sonys, and appliances, GE Whirlpools, and for you people that like VCRs, they got them all. So try to get down there after midnight or so. I'm sure Vinny will be happy to meet and greet you with a shotgun. Well, there it is after 6. 52 to a 63 plus a ball working for Sharon. And we'll be back with the final 4. But before we do, we're going to break and we're going to bring in Rodney, I believe. Come on in, Rodney.
This girl was no bargain either. Showed up, she had pigtails under her arms. She was fat, too. She got in a scale. A card came out and said, 1 at a time. This girl was fat and ugly. Ooh, was she ugly. How ugly? She was known as a 2-bagger. And that girl who's so ugly, go out with her, you put a bag over your head in case the bag over her head breaks. She was ugly.
Back we come to Big Shot Bowling, and there's the man of Candlepin Bowling, Mr. Tony Zernicke. And, of course, we'd like to remind you people, if we don't give away an automobile, we're going to be giving away a television from Vin's TV and Appliances, located at 268 Boston Turnpike. That's Route 9 in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. What about this guy,
I
Tony?
think he's going to be down there Saturday night himself.
Okay, Tony, get ready. We're ready to rock and roll here.
Well, Sharon filling on a spare up in the 6th.
Leading by 24, and this count right here. Make it 30 now.
30 with 4 boxes to go. Means Toni-Marie's already in a double strike situation. 4-7 on the left, 6-10 on the right.
9 count, 78 after 7 for Sharon Rawson. Sharon in the first ring had a 119. Second game, a 146. Toni lifted off with a 109, followed with a 142.
That was a makeable spare. Sharon knew it. As soon as he threw the ball, she was going too far left. All she had to really do was hit the 2-pin. I think the wood would have taken care of the 10. But right now, match well in hand. Toni-Marie's got to mark out. Depending on what Sharon gets, she may need a double strike, but she needs 4 marks.
Toni, with 1 strike and 8 spares in this match, yet to mark here in the 3rd string.
1, 7, 10. Piece of wood in front of the 10. Well, it was in front of the 10.
Toni-Marie eyeballing the situation, looking at the goalpost leaf plus some lumber down there. This time we'd like to thank our executive producer, John E. Legums, and he also is the president of Six Gun Production. Toni looking for the strike. No, the 10 stands.
Needless to say, a must mark for Toni-Marie. Have any chance at all? Oh, there's 1.
Toni, with her first mark in the final string, she now has 9 spares and a strike to her credit.
32 pins. Got to drop under 30, otherwise she's going to need a double strike.
Half Worcester, 2 in the 8 for Sharon.
And that would mean Sharon would have to do something other than 10 boxes. Now count becomes very important in the match.
The 1, 7, and 10.
Well, there's an 8. It opens the door a little bit for Toni-Marie.
95 with 1 remaining. Our director for this show, Bob McElroy. Would like to thank Robert and his outstanding crew for a superlative job. This the last week of the women's format here on Big Shot Bowling, and the last chance to win an automobile. And if we don't give away an automobile, we'll be giving away a television set, compliments of Vin's TV and appliance.
Great 3-string total, 370. That means 119 for Toni-Marie would be a tie, 120. So she's got to fill, and she's got to continually mark.
Well, there's a drop of 8 on the spare for Toni, hoping to get another one.
She's going to need a double strike now, though. Needs to pick this one up.
Yes.
Does that.
Strike and 10 spares now. Let's watch that again. What a tough one. Right on the button. There she goes.
I need a strike on it.
Looks good. Oh, baby.
That'll leave her short, even with this mark. And she throws a strike on this one, give her 117, she'd be short. Really needed a strike there, but going to go right down the last 2 frames, and that's not going to make any difference.
Sharon Rawson, the new champ here on Big Shot Bowling. Rodney, what do you think of this match?
Guess Rodney's not there.
No. There it is. A 370 to a 357. I'm sure Rodney will join us as we go into the break. So let's hear from Rodney.
What a lousy cook, you kid. I don't think meatloaf should glow in the dark. I got the only dog, he begs for Alka-Seltzer. She can't cook at all. I leave Dental Floss in the kitchen. The roaches hang themselves. Well, last night she gave me a steak. It still had marks where the jockey was hitting it. And then she told me to take out the garbage. I told her, you cooked it, you take it out.
We have a new champ here on Big Shot Bowling. It is Sharon Rawson from Greenfield, Massachusetts, as she scored a 370 to a 357 recorded by Toni-Marie Baldinelli. And now let's bring up the runner-up. Come on up, Toni-Marie. Let's hear it for a fine bowler and a fine gal. Toni, you had a great second string. It's always a pleasure watching you bowl when you're on top of your game.
I wasn't today. Sharon wasn't. I wasn't.
You were in that second string.
That was it.
$100 and a trophy from Girton Trophy Center and a few words from Dan the Man Murphy. You know this guy?
A little bit.
Nice going, Tony. I think the second game was the difference. She stayed right with you when you made a run at her. And...
It's all right. It's just she's a good friend, so it's all right to lose.
Oh, okay.
Toni-Marie, your dad, Tony Baldinelli. What is he doing now that he's in retirement?
He's in Florida bowling big balls.
Yes, can you imagine that? A Hall of Famer in the world of candlepin bowling. How's he doing with those big balls?
He's doing all right. He's retired. And he takes it easy, but he has fun.
We always have fun watching you bowl. Overall, now you've had quite a few victories here on this show.
Pleasure to be here.
5 to be exact. Congratulations. Have a seat. Toni-Marie Baldinelli. Let's hear it for a fine lady and a fine bowler. She is a good one.
Certainly is. Beats you, too. And me.
Someday she will be in the Hall of Fame in years to come.
I'm sure.
Along with Dan the Man Murphy.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know she will be.
Well, if you're counting the votes, you will be.
Well, yeah.
Are we going to give away an automobile? This is the final show.
This is the last shot at it.
So the gal who has the last shot is the winner of this show, Sharon Rawson. Sharon, let's go up to lane 30, and let's wish her well. She's going after the Thunderbird. Compliments of Duddy Ford and Six Gun Production. Yes. Here she goes, Dan.
Number one.
Well, it looks like we're going to give away that TV from Vin's TV. And who's going to get that?
No. I think I get the car. If no one hits it,
is that the way it goes?
Yeah.
She's going after an Emma gift right now. Not quite. Let's have a nice round of applause and come on in, champ. Here's our new champ on the ladies format from Greenfield, Massachusetts, Sharon Rawson. Sharon, some mighty fine bowling. 119, 146, 105. What the heck? You could have a 105 any day with a 119 and a 146 and a 370 total. What about your bowl?
I don't know. I got lucky, I guess. First time.
You were lucky and you were good, and you beat a good one in Toni-Marie Baldinelli.
Yeah, she's a real good bowler. I was nervous bowling her. She's a good friend. I didn't want to beat her.
But you did, and you beat her good.
Yeah.
Dan, what about this young lady?
I don't know about much luck. I knew, was it 2-4, 6-10? Cut over one time for a spare. When Toni-Marie made that run in the second game, you stayed right with her. I think that was the difference in the whole match. Great bowling.
Congratulations, champ. Have a seat. We'll look forward to seeing you next year here on Big Shot Bowling. Sharon Rawson, let's hear it for her. Hey, we had a good ladies format.
We did. Had a good season, and look forward to next year. Same time, same place, and I don't know, maybe you can clean up your act a little bit.
I was hoping you would. You know, a lot of people want you to... Wait a minute now. A lot of people want you to wear a tux next year.
Maybe one time I will.